Alright, so it's working. So the issue that we are focused on is a cash flow management issue. So when you sell your diamonds, the diamonds go out and it takes you 30 to 60 or even 90 days to recover the money. So this means that at any given point in time, 8 to 25% of your total yearly revenue is blocked. You cannot use it. You cannot use it to do your business, or you cannot use it to invest in the future of your business. So what you can think of is invoice financing. That could be a solution, but there's only a handful of banks that is providing invoicing financing to the diamond traders. In most of the cases, it's only to the big traders, and in most of the cases, it's also with high fees. So is this a solution? Is this a problem that blockchain could address? Yes, according to us, it is. So that's why we have built Divest, a blockchain-based invoice financing platform that brings together diamond traders that are looking to finance their invoice together with investors. So how does it work? Our platform has two modules: the supply chain module, in which you can track the transaction throughout the whole supply chain. On the other side, we have a financing auction where you can auction your invoices and investors can bid to finance your invoice. So if we go a bit deeper into the process, you see everything starts with an agreement between two traders. So initially, you create the invoice in the platform, the buyer confirms, it goes to the forwarding company who adds an additional validation. It goes through Diamond Office, who processes everything and also provides validation. So at this point in time, we have 4 parties that validate the transaction as being legitimate. It's the buyer, the seller, the forwarding company, and the Diamond Office. So for us, it's a legitimate transaction that then becomes available on the financing platform. On this financing platform, investors can bid on a certain invoice. So if I'm an investor, I think it's a good investment to finance that invoice. I can say, for 5% I'll do it. Perhaps there's another one who says, I'll do it for 4%. And the seller sees, okay, a bid of 4%, I'll accept it, and the invoice is financed. On the other hand, we still have the supply chain side, right? So the goods are being received by the buyer, and the buyer accepts and indicates, okay, I've received the goods, and I'll pay the invoice straight back to the investor, and the whole circle is round. So the agreement is closed. Right, so this is still a bit complicated, I think, so I'm going to show you now what we've actually built in the last 36 hours and show you how it's working. So there are in the application 3 users which we will show to you. It's the seller, the investor, and the diamond buyer. So, alright, perfect. So first we'll start from the seller's point of view. What he'll do is he'll create an invoice. He will be entering all the data, such as who's the buyer, which insurer is taking the risk, who is the bank that is involved in the deal, the country of origin, and so on, the shipper, the date of the transaction, and of course the payment terms. Is it 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days? Then you can attach the parcels with the carats, price per carat, and the total amounts. So if you've created an invoice that looks like this, you see it's not financed yet. You get the information of the buyer and the seller. We have integration with TheLedger where you can see individual data of the stone, and we have a Kimberly certificate attached to it as well. You see the buyer did not agree or accept the transaction yet. So now we're at the buyer side. You see, okay, incoming invoice. This is what we have agreed. Is all the data correct? If so, we will accept the invoice, and this means that the deal is closed, right? Everything is signed digitally and added to the blockchain. So now, in the meantime, the shipper and Diamond Office already validate the transaction and it becomes available for financing on the auction platform, where an investor can make a bid. So the investor sees the data of the invoice and says, okay, I want to bid 3% on this particular invoice. He makes the bid, it's successfully confirmed on the blockchain. Then we go back to the seller side, and he gets a notification and see, okay, somebody did a bid on my invoice. He can see the price, okay, 3%, he accepts it, and immediately his invoice is being financed at a competitive rate. So the last part of our solution is that the buyer still needs to confirm that he has received the goods and that he's going to pay the invoice straight to the investor, and that's what we're seeing right here. So this is in a nutshell what we have built. If you have any more questions afterwards, please come by and then we can explain a bit more detail, because now we're a bit with a time constraint. Alright, so next slide. Where's the money? Also a good question. So our main goal is not to make money. Our main goal is to increase the transparency in the diamond industry and to facilitate invoice financing even for the small players in the market. However, we don't want to lose any money, of course. We want to operate on a break-even basis. Therefore, we're asking a fee of 25 basis points to the diamond trader that is using the financing services. Our next step, so as said already, we built everything over 36-hour time frame, so with limited scope, limited integrations. Our next steps will be to integrate with Bureau van Dijk or my KYC to make sure our KYC is correct, and with other third-party interfaces. And then new use cases will be added, such as local sales and consignment. Also, we did the experts. It provides us with the feedback that everything is working fine. We have all the players in the value chain covered and so on. Alright, want to know more, come by and we'll provide you more info. And then the final slide, no buzzword, but build its action. We've built everything in 36 hours. Imagine what we can build in a couple of weeks. Thank you.